That's exactly how I wanted it to go. You can say it's not personal all you want, but it was very personal. So neither of my predictions came true. I heard her call him out of his name more times than his actual name. Oh my god, he chose peace. He chose peace. He chose peace. What? Girl, what did you say? Why did you say that to him? What? Girl, this is insane. They're like, this, I can't even really unpack this whole conversation. That just, like, really pissed me off, I can't even lie. Make out, spit, swapping, tongue swirling. Okay, I don't really like the sound of that. Like, it's feeling very isolating. I don't like that. But on the island, nobody expected that. Not a single person there expected that at all. They're making out. Like, they go in. The first major recoupling of these episodes. Like, she literally does stuff like that. If I recall, you were just swapping spit with another guy. Not only did they make out, but straddled him. Hey y'all, my name is Des, and today I want to yap about Love Island Season 7, episodes 11 through 18. Y'all, I really did not think it was gonna ramp up like it has. And I originally, like I said in my first video, I said I'm gonna probably do like 11 through 20. But because episode 19 is the start of Casa Amor, I'm gonna, you know, wrap this portion up of the villa before things take a turn or whatever, because I just feel like there's so much to unpack within episodes 11 through 18 that I feel like should be unpacked before we complicate it more with extra people, basically. In today's video, we are going to be talking about episodes 11 through 18. Please bear with me. A lot of things went down. I have a lot more things to talk about that I did in the last video. I'm really hoping it's not going to be as long, though. If it is, once again, bear with me, because when I tell you jam-packed equals jam-packed, like, I mean that wholeheartedly. Without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Like I did with the last video, we are going to start with the people who are in the house for these episodes. This includes people who get eliminated, new people who came in, you know, the whole nine. We're going to get into it. Let's just let's just get on this ride, this freaking roller coaster. So in the villa, we have Huda, Jeremiah, Shelly, Austin, Nick, Amaya, Hannah, Sierra, Pepe, Jalen, Olandria, Taylor, Ace, Charlie, Iris, TJ, and Andreina. I'm gonna make sure to pronounce her name throughout this whole video, and if I mess up, I will be correcting myself. So there have been like a lot of speculations on how to pronounce her name, but I just watched the episode again when she came in, so I'm gonna make sure to pronounce it however she pronounced it. So these are the islanders we are going to be working with in this video. Once again, I'm going to be talking about the controversies within this section of Love Island so far, and we're just gonna get into it. I haven't seen episode 19 yet, so any input from episodes 19 and above will not be a part of this video. So if I say something that gets contradicted or something like that in the next episodes, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying, because I haven't seen those yet. I don't have hindsight, you know. So without further ado, we are just going to go ahead and jump into these controversies. So before we really get into it, I want to have a little honorable mention. If you have not seen it, just so you know, on episode, I think we just watched episode 14, 15, one or the two, Megan Thee Stallion was there. Maybe I do want to go on Love Island. Maybe I do. Maybe I should go on one of these shows, because if going on a dating show gets you meeting Megan Thee Stallion, oh girl, sign me up. Sign me up without a doubt. I don't care about the awkward conversations. I don't care about having to make out with 20,000 people. Megan Thee Stallion. And she said she likes the show, so even if she doesn't come on, she gonna be watching me. She gonna know me. She gonna follow me. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that was like girl, what? I ain't never seen no people like this. They be bringing people in, like in one of the challenges they brought this one girl. I ain't never seen her a day in my life, so it really didn't mean nothing to me. Maybe to the people who have seen her before it meant more, but to me, I was like, girl, you're just another white girl. Yeah. Megan Thee Stallion, revolutionary, beautiful.
Blah, blah, blah. Proper name, place name, backstory stuff.
Because I just watched the episode again, and I was just like, Megan! Yeah. Okay, I just need to get that out of the way. Okay, so the first controversy is not necessarily a specific thing. It's more like a topic and a trend that happens within every single season of this show, I'm sure, and just really any dating show. I feel it's hypocrisy at its worst. So I feel like, you know, many of these couples may have a little bit of hypocrisy within them. It happens every single dating show, but I want to specifically talk about the Islanders by the names of Hannah, Charlie, and Pepe. Pepe is not really necessarily a bigger part of this, I guess. I guess another person would be Iris. So basically, for context, Hannah and Charlie were coupled up. They've been coupled up since... Why were they coupled up? I don't know. Oh, because the guys picked the girls, and Charlie coupled up with Hannah. So they've been coupled up for a hot little minute, and then Pepe comes in as a bombshell. Pepe comes in saying that he's interested in Sierra and Hannah. But after they had one conversation, him and Hannah, you know, whatever, just a chat, it was cool. They had like some chemistry. She was giggling, like giving very freaked out, but whatever. And then the next chat they have is in the speakeasy. And, you know, it was chill at first. Pepe pulled Hannah, and they were originally, like, they were in the kitchen with Charlie, and Pepe was like, Charlie, you're gonna have to go because I want to chat with Hannah. Charlie was like, well, you're gonna have to go somewhere else because I'm making guacamole. So that's when Hannah was like, here, look, let's go to the speakeasy, it's fine. They made out. Not only did they make out, but Hannah straddled him, and it just kept going. Mind you, at the same time, Charlie is talking to Shelly, being like, I think they're gonna kiss. Like, I really do. Like, I don't know how he read the room, how he knew that that was gonna happen, but maybe it was happening. It was happening. So basically, Hannah comes back, and she doesn't go straight to Charlie. Charlie has to come to her and say, hey, can we have a chat? And he basically asks her what happened. And she said, you know, it was a good chat. We did kiss, which... This is also another trend. Every single time they will full on make out, spit, swapping, tongue swirling with somebody else. They're like, we kissed. Baby, I wouldn't even consider that just a kiss. That was like baby making type stuff. Like, no, like, please. But anyways, she tells him that they kissed or whatever, and he's like, okay. Cool, thank you for telling me. And he, you know, it rubs him the wrong way a little bit, and you know, in his mind it's like, how am I gonna like be intimate with her knowing that she was just making out with this other guy, and you know, whatever. So after that, Charlie's kind of like, okay, maybe I need to explore some connection. But that's not even until the next day. They get in the bed that night after Pepe and Hannah made out and stuff, and Charlie is getting in the bed, and Iris like says something just out loud, and Charlie responds to her. They're literally just talking literally about nothing, and Hannah's laying in the bed beside him, and she's like looking at him like, and then eventually like him and Iris stop talking. Charlie gets in the bed, and he's like, hey, whatever, and she's like, oh, are you done? Are you done? She's like, oh, you ready to talk to me now? If I recall, you were just swapping spit with another guy. If my memory serves me right, you were just on top of this guy making out. Something tells me my memory serves me right. Girl, what? Are you kidding? Like, it's pissing me off all over again. Why are you mad that he was talking to Iris? They just had a conversation. So that was kind of like the first part. She was upset that he was talking to Iris when he was laying in bed with her. Whatever. Moving on. Next day, Charlie comes and pulls Iris for a chat, and they are literally just talking about nothing. Like, practically the same conversation they had that night. Like, it was literally like, I mean, they were talking about things. It wasn't like it was like, oh, why are you in Love Island? Like, it wasn't something like that, but it wasn't like flirtatious for real. Like, the only thing that was flirtatious was like Iris said something about herself. I think she said she brings like masculine energy or something like that, and Charlie was like, oh, I didn't read that from you at all, you were just giving like hot girl whatever, which I was like, okay. This entire time while they're talking, Hannah is fuming, like literally losing her freaking mind, talking to Taylor like, I don't want to talk to him, this is pissing me off, like blah 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 whatever. And I'm just thinking, like, they're talking and you just made out with Pepe? If my memory serves me right, I am just really confused. Like, why are you mad? And then she like explains her reasonings for being mad. One, she is mad that Charlie pulled Iris, because when it happened with Hannah, Pepe pulled her, but this time Charlie pulled Iris. So it's like he's taking the initiative to try to explore another connection, which is a super big issue, you know? Her second issue was that he did it in her face, which I'm like, did Pepe not pull you and literally tell Charlie he's gonna have to leave? But that was okay. That was all giggly and cute, whatever. But when Charlie's like, hey, Iris, can we chat? And then he goes upstairs and you're downstairs, that's doing it in your face, girl. I just like really don't understand, because it's like, in the real world, is that how you're gonna act? Like, your partner can't talk to another girl, but you can go kiss some guy and it's fine? It's just really annoying. Like, the hypocrisy hits so hard in the show all the time. Like even when like the bombshells first came out, like all the guys made out with all the girls, but then it was an issue when Iris came in and was kissing all the guys. Like you didn't just make out with 2 guys. Yeah, okay. So in any other situation, I probably would have saved this topic for later, like I did in the last video, but unfortunately it is really jam-packed, and I feel like there are bigger things that happen. This is just one of the more draining parts of the show. Huda versus Jeremiah again. Basically did the same thing that I did at the end of the last video, where I just started writing down issues that they had as they were coming, basically. So there are like letter parts again, but it's basically just like I would start writing about them and then some other topic would come up, so I would write that down, but then Huda and Jeremiah would happen again, so that's the next part kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's not like really separate issues, it's just really issues. So let's do Huda versus Jeremiah Part A. So my first issue within this set of episodes with Huda and Jeremiah was, it was after, I'm trying to think what happened. It was after the pancake debacle. Basically, they hadn't talked the whole day, and then Iris finally pulled Jeremiah for a chat, and she hadn't done it since she's been there. She finally pulled him for a chat, and she was like, basically just talking to him, and then she was like, hey, so where are you standing with like your couple, whatever. Jeremiah was like, yeah, we went through a rough patch this morning, but I'm not gonna let that just like taint everything we built up. Which, can I just commend him? That is so, like, it shouldn't be so emotionally mature, but in this day and age, that is like, wow, you really like that. I like, go him, whatever. He didn't say anything bad about her. He was just like, yeah, we had a rough time this morning, but I'm not gonna let that ruin it. So then when they talk that night, Huda's like, so how was your conversation with Iris? And he was basically like, yeah, I mean, it was a cool chat. I basically told her, yeah, we had like a rough patch this morning, but I'm not gonna let that ruin it. She's still my girl, yada yada, whatever. Huda loses it. Not as bad as she will lose it, but she loses it. She was literally like, what did you say? And I was like, what's wrong with her? He was basically about to explain it again, and she was like, no, you're not supposed to ever tell anybody a problem we have. What? I don't care who they are, yada yada, whatever. I don't care what we're going through. You're not supposed to tell anybody what we have going on. Like, you can chat with people and everything, but no, you can't do that, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, what? She just yelled at him because he's told Iris that they had a rough patch, but he's not gonna let that ruin their little situationship.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Girl, that's what you took away, that he told somebody that y'all had rough things going on? She didn't even like him, like, telling his friends, the guys, like, and I was just like, oh, okay, I don't really like the sound of that. Like, it's feeling very isolating. I don't like that. It's rubbing me the wrong way. And this is like where I was like, ooh, Jeremiah's checking out. Like, he was really checking out after the pancake debacle, but he does this thing where he's like, okay. Like, when he says okay and he like has it like breathy, I'm like, oh girl, he's checking out, he's pulling away, like, it's bad. And then at some point she called him toxic, like, within that conversation. I don't remember why. I don't remember, don't quote me on that, but at some point in time she called him toxic, and I'm like, out of this conversation, he's the toxic one? Really? Right. And then it was like worse because it was like she was talking to him all crazy, like really disrespectfully, and then she starts hugging on him and kissing on him. Like I said, like in the last video, I think I did say this, like she will like say or do crazy stuff and then be kissing up on him or whatever. Or that one time where she was like, oh, you want to go shower together? And he was like, no, I don't, because you just gaslit me. I didn't like that. Like, she literally does stuff like that, and then it's all lovey-dovey, and it's like, girl, no. Okay, so part B of Huda versus Jeremiah. This part, it's not really like a big part, it's just another thing that I jotted down, but something else came up afterwards, so I couldn't really finish the whole part as a big thing. But basically this took place after a challenge that they had, and this is like, it was like at some point at the end of the challenge, you pick like a little like beaver or something. It'll say the name of the girl that you can go in this little cabin with. You can technically do whatever you want. It's like, what do they call it, like 7 minutes in heaven or something like that. It's basically like that. You can technically do whatever you want. Like Sierra and Taylor went in there and they just banged on the wall and made a lot of noises, acting like things were going on in there when they weren't. But Jeremiah went and he picked, his beaver was a Landria. He went in and, you know, everybody was thinking, oh, he's not gonna do anything because he really hasn't done anything this whole entire time. You know, they're in there, the door kind of flops open and they're making out. Like, they go in. Once they get in there, Jeremiah is on them lips. Like, it's actually insane. I was like, oh, look at Jeremiah, I didn't know you had it in you. Like, I really didn't think you were gonna do that, and no one else did, especially Huda. And it was like after the challenge later that night, like they talked about it finally or whatever. You know, Huda was saying like, I really didn't expect you to do that, and he was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna like just, you know, not do it. It's like a challenge, whatever. And she was like, yeah, but you didn't have to, whatever. She wasn't making it a super big deal, but that was like a little like red flaggy, like, girl, it's just a challenge, let them play, whatever. The thing I took away is the fact that it was like a small detail. Like Huda was like, yeah, I was waiting to get my lick back. That really made me feel like she really sees their little relationship as a competition. It's felt like that a lot because every single time a new girl comes in, it's like she pounces on Jeremiah. Like, she left the hickey on his neck when Iris was talking to him. It's just like every single time some girl comes in is interested in him, it's like she would just pounce on him and like keep him to herself in a way, some way. And it's like she really just sees this relationship as some kind of competition, and that's just what I took away from that. That is all I wanted to say for this part. Like I said, it was a small part. Okay, so we are off for the first couple of parts of Huda versus Jeremiah. Now we are on to an actual general island thing. The first major recoupling of these episodes. This is the recoupling where Iris, Pepe, and Jalen were chosen to couple up with somebody by America, not by themselves. Basically, it was like whoever they got coupled up with, that person's partner was now single, and people who didn't get recoupled, they had to vote which of the 3 single people to send home. The way it went was Jalen obviously got voted to couple up with Alandra because who else was he talking to? And then Pepe got coupled up with Hannah because y'all was smacking lips. Like, let's not be crazy right now. Finally, Iris was coupled up with Jeremiah, which, if you're on the island, no one was gonna expect that. People who voted and, you know, have been keeping up with it or whatever, they most likely knew that Jeremiah was gonna get picked because people knew that they were in a toxic relationship and that they weren't going to separate on their own most likely, so they needed to be forcefully pulled apart basically. But on the island, nobody expected that. Not a single person there expected that at all. So with that being said, the 3 people who were left were Taylor, Alandria, and Charlie. And basically all the other islanders that didn't get put in a new couple had to pick individually which person they want to send home. Taylor got voted to send home by Austin. Huda got voted to send home by Ace and Nick. And Charlie got sent home by Shelly, Amaya, and Sierra, leaving Charlie getting dumped. Now, one, I will say Ace and Nick's speeches really ate down. Like, it was like Ace really went in. Like, this is stuff that I don't think he said to Huda before. I think he's mentioned it maybe. I really don't think he's talked to Jeremiah really about it, but he's definitely talked to the other guys about it. I don't think Huda or really any of the other girls besides maybe like Olandria has heard like any part of his feelings about their relationship. So it was like big that he was really letting it out. Like, it was like, oh my. But that ate. I will also say Amaya really only chose Charlie because he approached her, possibly like trying to see if they have any kind of connection, because Hannah was smacking lips with Pepe, which I don't think that's a bad thing to do. Like, your girl is practically checking out. Like, you have to figure out what you're gonna do next, you know what I mean? I don't think that's the worst thing ever. I really don't know why she started crying. I like understand, but I don't at the same time. Like, I get it, she's just a sensitive girl, but it was just like, why are you crying, girl? And then the last little thing I will say, I'm trying to like think about it logically. I really think probably it should have been, it's like from my heart I wish it was Huda, but I think like logically it probably should have been Taylor to go. I really can't remember why I said logically Taylor should go.
Okay, so scratch everything that I was about to say. Basically, I think Taylor should have been the one to go home, because even if Jeremiah and Huda shouldn't have been together, at the end of the day, they did have a strong connection, and if they wanted to, they probably could have worked it out. And if not, Huda needed a chance to be with somebody else. On the flip side, Taylor and Olandria really did not have as strong as a connection as, I don't know, they were trying to make it seem. It was just not fully there. And then Charlie and Hannah had a very strong connection and a very good chance to get together. If not, Charlie was not like shy to exploring. Logically, Taylor should have went home.
Honestly, it really didn't matter. I really just wanted Huda to go home. Like, just have your peace at home, girl. You don't need to be here. It's okay. That was the result of that major recoupling. Charlie went home. It was really sad. There were tears all around. It was like drama. Like, that was probably peak episode. It was a pretty good episode, honestly. So sadly, we are back on Huda versus Jeremiah. This is part C. This is a more meaningful part to me. This is the more jam-packed part, and this part is probably, it just got more like, it got me more heated, I guess, because it was like, oh my gosh, this is actually more concerning rather than being like just nice fun drama. Like, it was drama, but it was draining drama, which is like, who wants to feel drained when watching reality TV, girl? We're coming for the drama, the fun, the laughs, like the jokes, and this kind of was messing everything up. But basically, as soon as Jeremiah and Iris got coupled up and Huda was saved basically from being dumped, it just kind of basically went downhill from there. The issue that Huda had was that Jeremiah did not come comfort her afterwards, which I will say, yeah, sure, he probably should have comforted you, you know, it probably would have been nice, but I will say I also understand that was a long night. Like, you thought that tonight you're gonna be sleeping with the girl you've been sleeping with since the beginning, and all of a sudden you are with a new girl. And mind you, as soon as the coupling was over and, you know, they were all just standing there, that all the guys started basically coming at Jeremiah. Like, girl, he just got yelled at and basically lost all his friends, and you're like mad he didn't come comfort you? Girl, he was going through a lot. Why didn't you come comfort him when all his friends stopped being friends with him? He was literally standing there defending you like he kissed the ground you walk on. But you're mad he didn't come give you a hug? That just like really pissed me off. I can't even lie. And it's like, because Jeremiah didn't comfort her, she instead went straight to basically accusing him of these like heinous actions or something. Like, partially because the girls were in her head, like, maybe this is a sign America was trying to save you. Maybe there's something they see that you don't see, yada yada yada. Yes, it's true. We see something she doesn't see, but it's not on Jeremiah's part. It's on her part. She doesn't see her toxicity, and she thinks that because people voted for her and Jeremiah to split, that it was something Jeremiah did. It was like she kept just saying either America sees something I don't see or they just hate me. And I'm like, why are you not just looking in the mirror to see that maybe something you did made them choose this vote? Maybe the way you're treating him made them vote this way, but you're not seeing that. You immediately are going to either Jeremiah did something wrong or America's wrong. It was never maybe Huda's wrong. It was never that, ever. And oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. Like, eventually they did have a talk. I think it was the next night. Yeah, it was the next night. They hadn't talked like basically the entire time. The one thing that happened was the night before, like the night of the recoupling, Huda was basically talking smack about him in the showers, saying that you're just a liar. You're up. Like, was saying my husband would never yada yada whatever, and Jeremiah was standing out there like waiting to go in the bathroom, so he was hearing all that. And when Huda came out, Jeremiah was like, I didn't lie to you, by the way, I never did. And she ignored him and just walked by. That was the one like conversation they had basically since the recoupling. So the next night, the girls come down the stairs, they all go to the table, and then Jeremiah comes up to her and he's like, hey, can I pull you for a chat? And they end up going to the speakeasy to talk or whatever. They're like this, I can't even really unpack this whole conversation. I can only like talk about certain parts of it because it's just like there's so much. It was like every single sentence was a new like, oh my god, what girl, what did you say? Why did you say that to him? What, girl, this is insane. Literally emotional abuse manipulation 101. That is what was happening throughout their whole conversation. And it was like at some point in time, Jeremiah said something, and then Huda was like, so you think America hates me? That's when I was like, okay, manipulation 101. It's like he could not say anything. This was also an issue with their conversation. It was like Jeremiah, it's like no matter what he would say, it was never good enough for her. He would explain why he didn't come out to her, that it was a really chaotic night and he just couldn't be there for anybody else. It was really hard. He had nobody to support him, so he couldn't be there for anybody else. And it was just like, I'm hurt. Don't you see that you've caused all of this? You are the reason that I am like this. And it was like, girl, what? Are you kidding? Like, it's pissing me off all over again, because I'm gonna get into like for real why it's pissing me off now, like later on, but like it's pissing me off all over again. My big like takeaway is like, Jeremiah, you have to stop enabling her and comforting her, because that is going to prevent her from working on comforting herself and being an actual adult. Because right now she's acting like you're obligated to comfort her, which you are not, because she's an adult. She can comfort herself. It's not your job to comfort her. It's a privilege to get comfort from other people. And that may be a hot take, but that's how I feel. He's not obligated to comfort you, girl. He really isn't, especially when he was literally just attacked by freaking 4 men. He's so for real right now. And then it was like, might have been like the next day, Jeremiah was like in the bathroom and he was like, I just want to be happy and at peace, and I don't know if I can do that with Huda. Clock that tea, Jeremiah. Yes. That's when I knew Jeremiah was really emotionally mature, and he more likely than not was not going to just sit there and run back to her and let himself go through all this. So the next controversy I want to talk about is the next major recoupling. So this one was major because it was right after basically Jeremiah and Huda have been neck and neck. You know, I don't like the description of neck and neck. It was more like Huda was hating on Jeremiah and Jeremiah was trying to fix it in a healthy way, and she didn't like that. They weren't in a good spot. Huda just basically kept saying, why are you not trying to make me like you? If you can't do this, then I'm done. Have a nice life, yada yada, whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But anyways, this coupling was different than all the other ones because there were even numbers of girls and boys. So it was basically a test to see if people would pick each other. What I have to say about this one is every choice that was made, like the initial choices that were made, I expected every single one, or not I expected it, that's exactly how I wanted it to go. Nick chose Sierra, that's what I wanted. Austin chose Amaya. That's what I wanted. I said that in the last video, even though Austin should be at my villa, but since he's here, whatever. That's the only connection you really have, and Amaya seems happy. I want her to be happy. Ace chose Shelly. Finally, I will say Ace was a toss-up for me. I really didn't know, like, you know, he be on some slick stuff. Even someone else clocked it. I can't remember who, but they were like, he may do something different. He may surprise us, whatever, because he does that. When he picked Amaya, be so for real. Hannah picked Pepe, like they picked each other. Taylor and Alandria got matched up, which I will say also Alandria, it was kind of also a toss-up, but not as even. I like assumed she would pick Taylor, but it was also like, I'm not fully sure, but I was mostly sure. And finally, when I was watching Jeremiah getting ready to pick a door, for one, I will say I was skipping through. I didn't have time to mess with their little like cliffhanger, like, you know, hanging on by a thread, trying to mess with us, whatever. I needed to know which one he was gonna pick, so I was skipping through until he picked which one he was gonna pick. And lo and behold, he picked Iris. And when I tell you, I was like, oh my god, he chose peace. He chose peace. He chose peace. I was literally like shouting from the rooftops, Jeremiah chose peace. He really chose peace. Huda needed to be alone. It was not going to work ever, and he chose peace. I'm so glad. I was really scared. I genuinely was, because I didn't think it was gonna be a good thing at all if they did get together, and I'm so glad Jeremiah is emotionally mature enough to see that. Now, Huda's reaction to not being picked was kind of wild. Like, why are you attacking my girl Iris? She really didn't do anything to you. Like, please grow up. He didn't pick you. You should have known that. You've literally been pushing him away the entire time since y'all have been not a couple anymore, and you're surprised he didn't pick you? You keep calling him a liar, yada yada, whatever, but you keep pushing him away. Why would he want to be around that energy? Like, please be so for real with me right now. Now, the part about that recoupling that still pisses me off, and I just rewatched it, so it's like still fresh right now, is at the end of the day, Jalen, the bombshell who was into Alandria and was coupled up with her, since Alandria didn't pick him, he was left single and vulnerable. Same with Huda. And the Islanders had to stand behind which Islander they wanted to save and keep on the island. And everybody except for Jeremiah, Nick, Pepe, and Austin stood behind Huda. So all the complaining about all the drama she started, all the talking about feeling drained because of her, was for nothing because they saved her. I really felt like after everything, Huda should have went home. Like, she was yelling across the villa, calling Jeremiah straight up out his name 24/7. I heard her call him out of his name more times than his actual name throughout this whole situation. I don't know why they saved her.
I think Huda not being chosen was the last straw, or it should have been the last straw to see if she was actually capable of moving on. But the way she went about her little speech afterwards should have proven to everybody else that she should have just went home. Like, genuinely, at that point in time, with everything that happened beforehand, she should have went home.
I think if it was anonymous, they would not have saved her. That's my thing. I think if some of these votes were anonymous, Huda would not be here at all. I don't know why she's still here, but after that coupling, she got to stay. Whatever. So this brings me into Huda versus Jeremiah, the end. I will say Huda's immediate reaction, basically once the coupling was over and we knew that she was safe, she went to talk to Taylor and Alandria, and the way she was talking, it was still giving her being pissed at Jeremiah and this and that, and it's just bringing all the draining feelings back right after she was saved. It was just like, girl, it's time for you to move on. And it was like, initially I was like, oh my gosh, Huda, please, you're still talking the same way. And that's when Taylor finally like put her in her place, and he was just like, no, we're not doing this, you're not gonna talk to him, it's over, I don't want to hear anything about y'all anymore. And she was like, at first she was like fighting it, and I was like, no. He was like, no, that's the issue, stop, just stop. And she's like, okay. And then eventually cut to Huda listening in on a conversation Iris and Jeremiah are having in the speakeasy. I don't know why she felt the need to just do that. She could have just waited, but whatever. She ends up coming in, interrupting their conversation and being like, hey Iris, can I sit there and talk to Jeremiah and whatever. I didn't really know where this was gonna go. It didn't feel like it was going to go in a bad place just by the way she approached it. She wasn't like pissed off, so that felt like a bit better. I will say she started off the conversation, I guess, well. I don't like how she keeps being like, oh, I was so hurt, you hurt me, blah blah blah, whatever. But whatever, she didn't start off the conversation yelling at him or anything like that. But then it was like Jeremiah was defending himself and she was fighting back, and Taylor showed up and he was just looking at her because it was like, girl, what are you doing? We just talked about this. And she was like, it's okay, I just need to have this one little conversation. And eventually it ended pretty good. They hugged. Huda looked at him like she wanted a kiss, and he did not kiss her. He hugged her back. Growth, I will say. That conversation really showed the beginnings of growth. The way that Huda was able to come up to him without losing it for real. Like she almost did. I think if Taylor didn't come, it might not have ended like the same way. But point is, it did end the way it did. Pretty good. I was really just hoping from here on out, please just be okay with being by yourself. Please just move on. Please leave each other alone. I was pretty sure Jeremiah would leave her alone. It was more so concerning with whether or not she would leave him alone. And yeah, it was a very rocky relationship, but it's done. Basically, it's over. Thank God. That's all I gotta say. It's over. Thank God. So the last controversy is the biggest talk about Love Island right now, and this all came in episode 18. This is probably also gonna piss me off all over again, but it's alright. So basically, what happened in this episode is Americans have been voting for their favorite islanders, like for boys and girls, and it was basically the thing that Love Island does, where it's like the top however many, like 3 or 4 people, depending on how many people there are safe from elimination. Basically, with this vote, the people who were safe for the guys were Nick, Taylor, and Ace, and for the girls were Olandria, Shelly, Sierra, and Huda. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I don't think anybody predicted that Huda would be safe. I definitely didn't. I'm still confused as to why she's safe, because it was just very evident that she needed to go home. Either that, or it doesn't feel like she's going to be able to find another connection. Not only because of the way she will end up approaching connections, but because every single guy that comes in there after that has seen her crash out, and I don't know how many guys are gonna want to be with that. You know what I mean?
To clarify, I don't think Huda should be defined based on her crash out, but I will say many of the guys may see that as a telltale sign of her true personality.
So I was just like, oh, why did y'all save her? Because y'all are just gonna hurt her feelings. I really don't think she's gonna find anybody. I hope she does, because at this point she's safe, so I'm like, okay. But it just really didn't feel like she was going to, so I was really confused why she was safe. But apparently there are Huda defenders who just excuse every single thing she's done. I can't do anything. They saved her. Whatever. So with the people who are safe, for the girls that left Hannah, Iris, and Amaya, and for the guys that left Pepe, Jeremiah, and Austin. So once I saw that that was the whole case, I tried to like make predictions beforehand, and from my point of view, it was going to be Austin who was voted off because he was just talking about how he honestly wasn't really messing with Amaya anymore. So I was like, okay, well, he has had 2 failed connections, why would they keep him, basically? So I thought Austin would be voted off. Also because Pepe was going strong with Hannah and Jeremiah was just now like really getting into it with the new bombshell, Andreina. So, you know, that's how I thought the guys was gonna go. And then for the girls, I thought it was either gonna be Iris or Maya. I really didn't think it was gonna be Hannah at all because Hannah was going really strong with Pepe, and I couldn't decide whether I felt more like an Iris was gonna go home or Amaya. I think I thought maybe Amaya because Amaya also had 2 failed connections, but I was also like, the girls really like her, so I'm like, there's no way they're sending her home, so maybe Iris. I don't know, it was really up in the air for those 2, but I was like, without a shadow of a doubt, it's at least gonna be Austin or Iris and Amaya. So those were my predictions. I feel like that's, from what I've seen, that's what most people were also predicting, that definitely Austin and one of the 2 girls that I talked about. So neither of my predictions came true. Now, for context, the girls had to send a girl home and the guys had to send a guy home. So that was also a little different. As far as what I've seen, it's mostly the girls sending a guy and a guy sending a girl, which I feel like is honestly probably more objective. You're not as close with like the like opposite sides, so it's kind of more objective. You're not really doing it for personal reasons necessarily, so I thought that's how it was gonna be, but that's not how they did it, which I kind of hate it because that's why I feel like things went the way they did, but whatever. So on the guy's side, no, I'm not even gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do the guy's side second. For the girl's side, they sent Hannah home. And I really just didn't understand why they sent Hannah home. When I was listening to the speech, Shelly was saying this person got the whole experience, which I'm guessing that's their reasoning, because it didn't make any sense why you would send Hannah home. Like, Charlie just left and she's getting her connection with Pepe, and Casa Amor is the next episode. Like, it's perfect timing for them to test the relationship. It's like, why would you send Hannah home? It really didn't make sense. I completely am with Hannah on her feeling so hurt about that and not even wanting to talk to them, because that was like really messy. I was really confused. I was like, girl, did we just not see something? I'm really confused right now. So yeah, Hannah got sent home for whatever reason. I don't know if they're gonna explain it better in the next episode, because I would like to know, because I'm just really confused, very all over the place with not really understanding what the point of view was, but whatever. My real issue is with who the guys sent home, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, like, you can say it's not personal all you want, but it was very personal. The guys sent Jeremiah home, and I know basically exactly why. It was because Ace has been hating on Jeremiah since the beginning. When he first started, it was regarding the Huda situation, so it's not like people were really against it, because it was like, yeah, we also see that they're in a toxic situation, but it was also like he was hating on Jeremiah throughout it. But I think it was overshadowed by the fact that we were all also experiencing basically the same feelings, that they should not be together. But seeing the way he reacted when Jeremiah was getting really close with Andreina, it was like, oh, so you're really just hating on Jeremiah for no reason. It's giving jealous that girls actually want Jeremiah and it's actually working for him. Yeah, it was really giving jealous, and it was like, wow. I've never ever seen jealousy like this before. It just really pissed me off, because it's like, y'all had such an issue with Jeremiah going all in with Huda from day one, and finally when he comes out of that and starts exploring other connections, you still have an issue. And that was also, Jeremiah expressed that also when the Huda situation was going on and Huda was being pissed and stuff like that. Jeremiah was like, I don't understand, because the guys were also coming at him, and he was like, I don't get it. Y'all have an issue when I explore and you have an issue when I don't explore, so I don't know, how am I supposed to win? They sent Jeremiah home. I will never forgive them. Honestly, if I wasn't doing these videos, I probably would stop watching, because it honestly made me very, like, just really pissed off. Not only did America save Huda, but the boys sent Jeremiah home. for no reason when he was finally making a genuine connection and the girl really liked him. Not only have these people torn couples apart, but you have basically ruined one of the bombshell's experiences because that's who she wanted to couple up with, and you didn't give them time to do that. That's where I'm gonna end this. I hated really ending it on this sour subject because I think everybody's really mad right now. It's like Love Island USA's Instagram and TikTok comments are filled with bring Jeremiah back and Casa Amor. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I feel like they aren't going to, because I don't know if they were expecting this much backlash from this. But honestly, if they can do that, I've heard they've done it before, please do, because Jeremiah was robbed. Genuinely, he was robbed from his experience. He was bullied on this show, emotionally abused by Huda and the guys, and it's just like he couldn't do anything right in their eyes, and they should not have been allowed to vote him off for that reason. That's just all I have to say. I can't end it with any dream couplings because they're about to go to Casa Amor, and honestly, none of the couples are really strong for real. Nick is ready to pounce on Andreina. Ace is definitely folding in Casa Amor, and Austin doesn't want Amaya. Olandra, I think she most likely will find somebody better. Yeah, it's really rough out here. So far, this has been what I've seen as the worst season of Love Island USA. I don't think they can really make a comeback for real, especially because even like what I've seen, this is not my personal opinion, I'm not really gonna say too much, but people are not really liking the tempters, the guys specifically from Casa Amor. So I don't really know how they're gonna come back from this. I hope they do bring Jeremiah back because he tried his best, and it was just like they were never gonna see him as anything less than a villain. That's how I feel. So far, it's not really been great, but I'm hoping it picks up again for the next video. I'm not exactly sure what it'll be from blank to blank. I just know it will start at episode 19 once they start in Casa Amor. I may go from the beginning of Casa Amor to the end, however many episodes that is. Stay tuned. I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit this video because I know for sure it's definitely longer than the last one. I'm so sorry, but I had a lot to say. Thank you for staying tuned. Look out for more videos about things that are not Love Island as well. I just posted a welcome video to my channel, so check that out to hear more about kind of things I want to talk about on here, and about my main channel, my lifestyle channel, Destiny Wants to Be a Fairy. That's it. I just need to stop. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna work on editing this. I can't do it. This is pissing me off. In like an hour or so, I'm gonna watch episode 19. Yeah. In other news, before I officially close it out, I did start a Twitter account. I will make an Instagram, but my Twitter handle is the same handle as my YouTube. I fear does yapped. So far, I only have a few tweets about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 18 specifically, because that's when I knew I needed to start this. Feel free to check it out. I may post some stuff on there. We'll see. But hopefully, the Instagram will be started soon. Once again, stay tuned. I will let y'all know when that stuff comes out. Make sure you check the descriptions for things because I do type a description up. So that'll be kind of more structured because right now I'm just flowing off the noggin basically. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. Once again, stay tuned for more of this drama. I hope it's juicy because I need to pick me up. Thank you for watching. Love y'all. Bye.